Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the stream. We're just waiting on players to start joining here to get started. We're seeing match between Fusion and Phantoms. In fact, let me switch that because it looks like they're on the flip-flop of team sides here, so that real quick. But yeah, so Phantoms, we just saw them make their season debut. Again, the former team known as Backlash and Ouroboros, Cerberus, and what have you, a lot of different names. But one thing that's consistent is the fact that this team has been on top of their game for the last year now, year plus. Had themselves quite a bit of success competitively in Echo Arena, and for the most part, it's been this core that's stuck together through it. They did used to have, I believe it was Ambient at, last year, but switched with we got replaced with Nillywick towards the end when we had the LAN event, Season 3 of VRL. But otherwise, yeah, these three players on Phantoms been sticking together and been dominant for much of that time. Now, on the other side of things here, we have Fusion coming back. They had themselves a preseason of ups and downs, but ultimately stuck through it and had some good games, trying to prove themselves against a top team here. But in the preseason, Fusion are going 5-7. So again, some ups, some downs, and actually, well, looks like we have everyone in the game. In fact, we have an extra person in the game. But nonetheless, we'll go to the gameplay for you as we get ready to go very shortly, I do presume. But to everyone in the Twitch chat, welcome back to our Sunday coverage. Sunday evening for the Europeans, Sunday afternoon for the North Americans joining us. So wherever you're from, whoever you are, welcome and or welcome back. And who's on Fusion? Well, at the moment, we can see Galti, David Duel, Braymore, Swift, and Martin III. Apparently, Fusion has a 5-man team as we get this started soon. Not really, I think. I know they're working with some sub situation here. I mean, Fusion's normal roster at the moment is going to it. It's Alakos, David Duel, Swift, Virtual DPG, and Dan 3DIM. Or 3DIM. So Martin, nowhere to be found on that list, but he's here. And looks like some team switches maybe? I have no idea. Okay, so it looks like now Martin has pieced out. And as a result, there we go. We got our teams back. All in line, Fusion and Phantoms. So again, joining me is no one. Sputnik is currently in the caster's channel, but he'll be joining Dimwee momentarily, it looks like. So it'll be me here, and there you go. Okay, readies have gone underway, so we're going to get started now with the first round of Fusion and Phantom. Phantoms coming off that hot win against Team Gravity in the third round, able to get the job done there. And here goes Sundance with that first joust. Gets it to Nilly. Pass slightly off the mark. And ultimately taken here, flinged out by Galti. So Torin takes the disc, sends it to Maddie over at Bowtie. Looks for a pass towards an anchored Nilly, but Nilly just left that anchor momentarily. It's okay, though, because they have a short-range pass. They have the pass to the backboard. And very nice. Efficient play with some efficient passing from Sundance and Phantoms. So they'll certainly take that gladly to start this one off. Now, looks like a bit of a headbutt play, just misses, so it causes a turnover. Torin gets it eventually to Maddie, and there's another one. So a three-pointer by Maddie. Just off that joust and a bit of a miscue from Fusion. We'll give up a goal there to Phantom. So off we go here. Will be Braymore on the launch. Being assaulted by Nilly and Sundance. Gets it to the tunnel. Galti takes that over. Can't quite find the pass, but luckily the stack on the comeback. Sending it deep down. Little off-center on the shot. And taken by Sundance. Sent right on out. We have Torin here on the wall. You can see a bit of a train forming, some stacks. There's a quick boost. First to the disc is Braymore getting stunned. Actually, no, stunning him perhaps and sending another clear down as it goes over to mid. Soft pass over, just gets it through to Galti. Takes a quick shot, almost on the line. That was some great confidence on it and just a hair from making it. But just grazing that barrier, unfortunately for them. Now coming over here. Taking disc is Sundance for the Phantoms. A couple minutes expired on this one. So again, we have sight of Phantoms and Fusion over on VRML 2 in next 10 minutes or so. Should have Illuminati versus Orbit being casted by Sir Dimwee and Sputnik. And going in real quick is Nillywick for the 2. And there's 7 points now for Phantoms. Cruisin asking if MMR reset because Phantoms changed their name. I don't believe so because they didn't leave the team, like there's, as far as I know anyways. But, in fact, no, because we checked their stats on the website. Yeah, the team didn't disband as a shot goes through for Phantoms. Again, 10 points. But, yeah, they just changed the name, but the team was still like, it's the same profile essentially. And although MMRs were visibly reset the start of the season, obviously the seedings from pre-season went into the matchups here for week 1. So no one has technically an established MMR right now, but the seedings were determined off of them, and well, I guess we'll have to see whether it was a hard reset or not. But either way, the seedings definitely determined some of these matchups here. It's just, yeah, with the newer teams or the teams who kind of disbanded and reformed, things like that, where there is not really an established MMR, and that's kind of how it happened. Mentioned Fusion coming back from the pre-season here. They had a record of 5-7 as a turnover gets sent into their side. And now quick boost. Just past the hands, though. Unfortunate miss for Sundance, so Braymore will be the recipient of the pass. Cannot get the clear, however. Braymore, I do believe, subbing. If I heard that right in chat earlier. Over here to Maddie, though. A good pass up top and swings it around off the top. It's Nillywick again. So he's putting on some points now, as well as Maddie.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So Joust here goes off, and you see how quickly they force those passes on the QBs. Very tough to deal with, surely, but Torin gets a disc over here as brawls go on off. Galti is looking for the Assaulty, and now maybe a Leech off into the tunnel. So Swift gets that one, but is promptly stunned. Maddie takes that one away. Down the tunnel it goes, trying to pave a way for maybe an opportunity for Phantoms again. They have a dozen already here, about halfway through the first round, but instead, just kind of back and forth trade-offs of punches and possession time over in the mid area before finally Sundance and co. come away with it. And there they go. Maddie from Sundance, 14 points now on the scoreboard.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
So quick start here for Phantoms, but obviously we know they are some offensive juggernauts on their team. And they were the #1 seed for much, if not most, of the preseason for that very reason. For Fusion here, just trying to build on their momentum. You know, they'd had a pretty good season, all things considered, preseason. Had some tough games in there against some top teams, but still ultimately finished out with a pretty decent record. So it's just one of those things you want to see. They want to see. Season 1 just being a step-by-step progression of that. And Nillywick, though, just progressing the lead with a 16 now. 4 minutes left in the first round. So approaching potentially the Mercy situation here. Phantoms, they reached that 20 points.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
kind of getting everything they want at the moment. And just trying to change their luck is Fusion. So that one gets through, almost barely through the grasp of Fusion's hands. So Swift just as well reaches for it, goes for a nice boost here with Galti as Torin dishes it off deep into Nillywick's hands. He'll take that quick shot, maybe looking for that slicer off the backboard. It's a tough angle, but certainly possible. We've seen them hit it before. Him and Maddie, I think, have made some pretty creative backboard shots over the matches these past several months. And now look at that for the passes. Nilly to Torin. Torin finding another score. That's 18 points here, favoring Phantoms. So gotta be, if you're a Phantom fan or if you're just the Phantoms, gotta be happy with how it's going here. Of course, changing their name this season, going under the Phantoms umbrella, esport organization based in Spain, I do believe. So nice to see just more esport orgs and organizations in general getting involved here in VR esports, supporting our teams. We have, of course, Infinite over on North America's side, formerly known as Synapse, but Infinite also falling under an umbrella, and now cannot quite put in that one, but raining it and ending it. Going to be Maddie for the Phantoms, 21 in round one. Definitely a strong start here for the Phantoms. Or I should say, not start so much as continuing where they left off in that game versus Team Gravity just 20 minutes or so ago when that ended. So to the scoreboard real quick. And quick reminder as well, again, we have the extension that shows you the live stats on the Twitch player there. Always handy to have. But yeah, for Phantoms, just piling on the points, a good distribution between Nilly and Maddie with 9 and 8 respectively, and then 2 apiece for Torin and Sundance. The assists all over the place. Torin with 2, Maddie 3, 1 for Sundance, 2 for Nilly. So just kind of rolling on offense right now. For Fusion, unable to get too much going on the offensive end at the moment, just being pressured an awful lot. They have a couple saves there, but you know, as good as a defense is for any team, you can only defend so much before offense will get their way. It's there's great goalies out there, but you know, when you have multiple attempts at it, one of those goals are very likely to go in. It's very tough to get multiple saves in a row is what I'm getting at. But trying to come back now for the start of round 2. See what Nilly and Phantoms are going to do off this joust as Fusion just tries to recollect here and maybe find themselves the beneficiary of a possession. That's going to be a straight shot, a little too much to the right, but just right down the middle at the least. And a great boost will enable the great goal. There's Braymore. And he will play more for the points. Looking good on that boost. I said boost, but yes. Multi in the chat there saying, I believe in Fusion. Also, hello, Palidore. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Cheering on Fusion here. Admittedly, perhaps underdogs, but yeah, all the more reason to cheer for them. Phantoms, no joke of a team. And right now, Fusion, though, they do have this early lead in the second round. So they'll gladly take that momentum and try and do something with it here because they're on offense again. Now, Braymore looking for that bounce pass. Will just go past Swift's hands there. It was going to be a tough catch based off those bounces, but taking it back anyway is going to be Nilly as Sundance cuts and anchors. Galti is up there just cutting him off and now diving at them. Swift was Braymore. Look at that. So he has the offense on one end, gets the 3, and then on the defensive end, he gets a save. Nicely done from Braymore. Coming in and showing some nice defensive potential. Oh, but there is the essential shot for them. So as a result, you will get yourself a replay within a replay. Matrix. So tied up here, 3 apiece, 2 minutes into the second round. Ryan the PogChamps as well as see Jason, but cannot land that shot. So here is Maddie getting stunned out. Swift doing a good job on the brawling and contesting 3 players down there. And that pass just a bit off, so Nilly takes it. Maddie gets a short-range boost to the backboard area. We know that's such a dangerous place. But now Nilly just going to walk it in. So Fusion, they did a good job covering the backboard. They kind of recognized he could be going for the pass. Goalie looked maybe ready to leap. But for Nillywick, better recognition there, just saying, all right, well, I guess if they're not going to guard me, then I'll just take it in. And he did. So Disc just squeezes through on this joust. It's 5-3 advantage of Phantoms. Meanwhile, as the dive goes out, gets to Duel's hands, he just gently tosses it. Looked like a no-look potentially up top to Nest, so obviously they're kind of intending to go in that direction. But did result in a brief turnover and another clear here. Does manage to squeeze through just barely, although there is a Tauren. A Tauren. He is a thing, that guy. Encroaching upon the disc and taking it. To the sky, taken right back by Braymore. Getting hit by a Phantom Fist. And as a result, Nillywick will take it over. Maybe just going for the goal himself. Bold move. And did not result in any points right there. It was kind of a 1-on-3 situation. He still had a bit of a window, but couldn't make it. Fortunately for the Phantoms, they'll have another go at it here as we see 3 of them on the floor, 1 on the ceiling. Being covered well at that by David Duel. True to his name. Very good on the dueling end, as I said quite a bit in the cast last season. And there is a beautiful save. It was Braymore along with Gulty, I do believe. So the pair of them just managed to force another miss on offense for the Phantoms. But if you're, again, like I said, between rounds, if they get this second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, one of these will go in. That's where the danger lies. And there, another dinger trying to avoid the goalie. That's the benefits of when you have good stops on defense, but going in, that one again! Wow, Braymore! The defensive Claymore doing a great job. That is, I believe, his 4th save this game. This just an incredible effort from him so far as Galti receives his pass, but just bouncing off the Geo and out into the tunnel. Amazing job there. Braymore is having himself quite the defensive day. And it cannot make the shot, but on the rebound, it will go for Nillywick. But how about Braymore, man? Stepping in here. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but do believe he's substituting for Fusion today. Certainly does not look out of practice or out of game shape. He's just doing some work on the defensive end, really. And you saw even as a turnover goes through, the shot will just squeeze in that corner. Nice. For Phantoms. But like you saw in some of those attempts even, like Tauren went for a goal down here against Braymore. Like some of these drives, they were taking these angled shots, and that's a result of going against good goalies. They make you think about where you want to place a shot, because you know if it gets anywhere near their chest area, there's a good chance they're going to be able to stop that. So you really need to be conscious on your approach when you're going against good goalies, and especially after they receive or they make a lot of defensive stops. It just makes the offensive player think all the more when they start approaching that goal. So that's really the benefit of having a good goalkeeper in this game. Of course, that being said, with all those stops, just unable to pick up too much momentum on the offensive end. A lot of these stops are just not able to turn into clears or turn into offense. It gets right back to Phantom's hands, and they just end up scoring off of it. So that's kind of where Fusion is struggling in that regard in this particular matchup. But seeing if they can change their luck just a bit and sailing through the hands, and unfortunate result for Fusion. For Phantoms, though, they'll take that gladly. Sundance, the 13th point to make it a 10-point game here for their team in the second.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Dash in the chat saying, bruh, stop, a minute ago or so. Not sure if that was because of the saves or for my casting, my rhymes, but whatever it is, I will not stop. I cannot be stopped. I can only be contained sometimes. Anyway, over here goes to Braymore. He's going to slap that through, and off to the tunnel area it goes. Galti is there along with Torin. Torin losing it to Galti. So some good hands from Galti. We've seen him bothering the Phantoms players on defense a bit, just creeping up on him, doing a decent job on that end. And now a shot. Oh, couldn't quite make it. Swift. Good attempt, but just the timing not quite right. Stack trying to get through. A good intercept by Braymore now, so kind of playing the midfield goaltender, if you will, on that one. And Galti getting punched here, so his own medicine being dished his way a tiny bit. Elikost in the chat asking if it's best of 3 now this season. Yes, correct. Yeah, there was a vote before the season started, about a week before or so, and pretty good majority wanted to go try the 3 versus 3. Definitely not 3 versus 3. They wanted to try the best of 3 again. And now that intercept will result in just a beautiful looking shot right back into the top corner for Nillywick. Finding the bottom of that goal again this match.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So with 1:35 remaining, Braymore takes us away. You see David Duel actually went there to bother the approaching defender on the QB. So it did let them at least keep the disc for an extra few seconds, but ultimately went right back to Phantom's hands. There's a shot from Nilly again. That one too much to the left. Faltering and going off the barrier, but retaining possession for them. Phantoms going in with a plethora of moves as Sundance. Had a jump in there, it looked like. Took a shot, landed it.
12, 11, 10.
Frogio saying Galti with a sleight of hand this game. Now talk about a good goalies there. Frogio had a couple great games himself. Both the matches I casted for him earlier in the week. He had some nice saves in both. I don't want to get it wrong, but Vibers, I believe? Maybe, possibly. Still trying to remember all the new teams, but nonetheless, a lot of great goalies in Europe, and good to see him. So here it goes to Swift. Swift is going to take that pass, make that pass, over down to Galti. Galti in the corner, backing it out and down to Braymore. 23 seconds left, the game out of hand for Fusion, but not out of hand is another score perhaps, but denying it is Maddie, and off it goes. So as the clock just winds down, that is a deep shot that is actually received by Torin at the end. So makes it a 2, it makes it 20. Nice and even number for Phantoms, and that will be the game in their favor. So
That's the end of this round.
20-3 in round 2. And that will also be the match. So congrats to the Phantoms for a successful debut here on this Sunday. And for Fusion, not the result they wanted for their first match, but also a tough match, one of the toughest you could possibly draw, no doubt, and giving it their all there. So we can see over on Phantoms, 19 points for Nilly. So, and I mentioned he was reining them in over and over, and he was 19 points, firmly in the game high position. 6 for Sundance and 8 apiece for Torin and Maddie. Again, those assist numbers off the charts for all of them. Maddie had a few saves in there. Over for Fusion's side, you have Braymore with the 3 points, 2 saves, but he definitely had more that he just was not credited for. Nonetheless, David Duel also a pair of saves and 1 for Galti there. But just not able to really break through that Phantoms defense. They were able to stop their offense a few times, but ultimately the multiple attempts were kind of the downfall, and Phantoms just capitalizing off that great teamwork that they've formed over this last year plus of playing together.
Starting in.
So that will be our match here. And Phantoms matches for the week. Take a look at this score screen. Let me pull up the schedule for you guys real quick again.